perspective on what has been his experiences with Renergy in the past, and how he looks at Renergy 2014, and what more value additions UBM can contribute to the forum. Mr. Prashupati, please.
Thank you very much, Rajesh, and I'm grateful to UBM and TEDA for giving me this opportunity. Frankly, I think you put me on a spot. I wasn't ready to discuss this, but nevertheless, I'll share my thoughts. I think it's good to be here amongst friends. I think many familiar faces. I think just like there are too many conferences in solar that are happening everywhere. I think at least the one industry in solar that seems to be making money is the event organizers and the conference organizers, while the rest of us are actually struggling to figure out how we can make money, either as investors and developers or EPC providers and suppliers of modules and inverters and so on. I think for me personally, I think events like this, the number one focus for me as a leader in my company is to meet with other leaders. Many cases, people that you're already familiar with, but it gives you an opportunity to meet many of them all at once, and making that happen is actually probably the biggest value. As an organization, obviously, I've seen Renergy split up, both have knowledge sessions and presentations, as well as there are booths and exhibition, which is good for employees. I think last time we participated and demonstrated a working solar water pump, very economical, and Grundfos did the same, which was quite well received, I believe. And the second was we also had a live renewable operations center, like a network operation center, live functioning at Renergy, which was really a smashing hit. We didn't make any money out of it or didn't get any business, but nevertheless, at least I'm glad that from an educational perspective, it was jam-packed the entire 3 or 4 days that we were there, and there were always people wanting to sort of see how solar plants are. So I would encourage, if there is way for more and more people to demonstrate products, so that from a knowledge perspective it's better. I would try and see whether there is more you can do in networking itself. I mean, can you really try and get the leadership teams of various companies to spend more time together? Oftentimes these CEO dinners end up being a few hundred people, and they're not really as effective. I think if there is a way to bring the leadership from the energy industry as well as the bureaucracy, I think the leadership from the state, that would be quite phenomenal. You have Mr. Sudeep Jain, Mr. Jnanadesikan, Mr. Lakhani, the finance team members. If there is a way to attract them in somewhat of exclusive gathering, it can really result in good dialogues, and it'll be very worthwhile. I think each one of us, I'm sure, will be willing to spend a lot of money for such a truly exclusive event if it was possible. At least from my perspective, I think that would be one ask. I don't know. I think you put me in a spot, and maybe that's my gut reaction. Yeah. So, as and when, and maybe you should have others contribute as well. All right. Thank you. Look forward to interacting more during the sessions. Thank you.
Sure, all of these are so meaningful for us, and I hope my team is making a note of it, because these are the points when we go back, we're going to take action on, and we're going to shape it up, share with, again, coming back to you that this is what we have finally lined up, and again, should there be any more modifications to it, we'll be happy to amend. But at the end of the day, the activities, the forum, what we want to create with the help of TEDA, I think the synergy has come in at the most opportune time. And this is a time that we want to make a good use of, and to bring forward an agenda which is actually your industry's agenda, so that it engages all of us. In the same process, may I invite Mr. Anil Jain, Managing Director, Reflex Energy, because they are a big stakeholders in the state of Tamil Nadu, And let's all of us hear out from Anil, who is the managing director, to what are their expectations of Energy 2040. Anil, please. Thank you.
Thanks, Rajesh. I think Pashu's put in a lot of points which we all were looking at. Typically, I was always thinking that Renergy is only for wind, and if it's in Tamil Nadu, solar is not required to come here. There are a lot of wind players, and we have enough for all the 3 days agenda to talk about and discuss. So you guys can be in Delhi and remain there. I think all this changed last year when solar was almost equal to what wind was in Tamil Nadu, and all the wind guys were like actually wondering, are we at a very big risk with solar guys coming in? And I do see that next year it's going to be a more of a solar dominated event. Yes, it has to be because it's a growing industry. Wind is already on its rails, it's on its track, it can run as fast as it can. It doesn't need any push. We are the ones who need to push now. I think the state is doing very well, trying everything possible to ensure that we have a long-term good policy to work on. Though we see this initial hiccups which are coming in, but I think all this are actually being taken care to ensure that we have a policy which is in place which cannot be challenged by anyone anytime soon. As far as Renergy is concerned, I think a lot of practical demonstration is very important, where we're looking at talking about 10,000 houses to be connected on rooftops. We really need some kind of demonstration for and illustrations for people to come in and engineers to actually look at what is solar, how it works. I think that's one thing which you can allocate a space for that. The high level meeting which Pashu was talking about, we did think last time that it's going to happen, but we didn't have a lot of participants from the industry, especially the top notch who can discuss on various policies. So we are willing to be a sponsor again this year and see a better gathering, more of bureaucrats, policymakers with the industry to interact on understanding how we can drive this, rather than just have a dinner and drink and just go back with few of us. On these stalls, I think we need to bring in a lot of global participants now to India, especially in Tamil Nadu, for them to see that there's a lot of scope and market here also. So that could be one area where you can work on. I think the rest is all, you guys are the best in your industry, so you know what's to be done. I can only talk about solar. I think the rest are taken care of. Okay, thank you everybody.
Whatever is good can always become better, and I think a lot of fresh ideas coming to us, and probably, I'm sure once we go back, they all need to be actioned upon seriously, and creating a forum which suits all of us and brings value. Now, may I invite Mr. Anish Rajgopal, Director, Chemtrol Solar. They have also been a very loyal participant at not only at Renewable Expos, but with Renergy in the past. And from Anish, I am very eager to hear out what are his expectations as a Director of Chemtrol's from Renergy 2040. Anish, please.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Renergy's Chemtrol's has always been selective in participating in exhibitions, and I think we participate in a total of around 5 to 6 exhibitions in a year, and Renergy is one of them. So we've had a very good experience. And as companies, there are, there is one very important thing which all of us look at exhibitions for is, and something which we believe is something that's lacking, is outreach. So you may have, let's say an exhibition in Chennai, for example, but you tend to get local, people only. What we would like more is to get people from even other regions, so people from Coimbatore, Tuticorin, Tirunelveli, So we would like a lot more participation even across the state, and in terms of people actually coming in and visiting us. And very often we've realized it's just a matter of lack of information, so it could be as simple as just putting a newspaper ad in the Tanti, and it could be as simple as that. So that's something definitely I think there is a lot of scope for improvement, so to say, and this holds true for many exhibitions. I'm not just talking about Renergy. I think this is even true in Delhi. Any exhibition in Delhi and Bombay also is something that holds very true. Second, and I think maybe perhaps you can sort of address it this time, is TN is a state where very many private developers have come forth and taken risks which have actually benefited our industry, actually shown the path ahead. So it probably is a good opportunity to felicitate some of them, you know, in actually as people who've taken risks, so that it actually encourages a lot of other people to actually do that and follow the same path. Because we've seen a lot of path-breaking initiatives over the last 1 year in Tamil Nadu. Third, and very importantly, I also think that any exhibition has to have a good mix of exhibitors. So for example, you need to have a good mix of EPC contractors, module manufacturers, inverters, and balance of system guys. So sometimes, depending on this scenario in the industry, you often see, okay, last year module maker manufacturers were very low in terms of visibility. So perhaps that should be encouraged. I don't know how we're going to do that, but that's something which, you know, matters a lot to us as exhibitors, because we would like the entire ecosystem to be there in this exhibition hall. A good idea also which is followed to encourage